Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the BFG podcast. You can see today's guest, just like last week, on November 20th at Guy Stadium against Melbourne City in the first A-League Women's Phoenix home match ever. Be there to share her story and buy tickets now at ticketek.co.nz. Please welcome to the show Phoenix young gun Kate Taylor. Welcome, Kate. It's a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited.
So
we've kind of developed this opening question which we ask everyone, but it's interesting to get their view. So Kate, how would you describe yourself as a footballer in 3 words?
That's a hard one. Am I allowed to know what the others said?
So Nat talked about being aggressive.
And
what else did she say? Brave. Lily talked about being brave and courageous. And Mackenzie Barry said that Lily is the loveliest person she's ever met. So those are the kind of answers we've got. Where do you fit into the team? What do you bring?
I think I would say composed or relaxed. Sometimes I get told that I look too relaxed and I look like I'm not ready to play football. So I think I would say that. 2 other words. Determined. And probably very competitive.
Very cool. Well, it's that competitiveness that's seen you go from year 12, year 13 at high school to having your passport full with travelling around the world playing with the Ferns and the under-20s. I mean, if it wasn't for determination, you wouldn't be doing that, right?
No, definitely not.
So where have you been in the last 12 months? Because honestly, you can't keep up. I mean, your passport must be getting full.
I mean, it's getting there. There's always more places you can go, but I think so far I've been Norway, Spain, Japan, Costa Rica, USA, Australia. I think that New Zealand, best place of them all. But
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
You got another favourite apart from here?
I really enjoyed Norway. I thought that was very clean and seemed to be well put together. I'm not sure if it actually is or not, but it was really cool.
You're going to be seeing a lot of Norway pretty soon. Of the Ferns.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So looking back at where you were a year or two ago, what is in the water, or what is the secret sauce at Canterbury Pride that turns out so many great footballers? What's the secret?
I think we're just brought up really, really well. I think obviously Gunny's done a lot for all the players that are kind of my age. So Alyssa and I mainly, she didn't have as much to do with Zoe, but I think us two really, really worked well under her. And I think in general, they're just a really close-knit family. I think it's hard because now the girls that are in the National League are going club-based. They don't have that that one person, although they have the club connections. I think that's a bit harder, but I've been under Gunny for a really long time, which has been awesome and very beneficial for my development. But also Flea has been a big influence on what I've done, and I know a bunch of players, not even the ones that wherever people have ended up, Flea's had a big influence on people's lives and football careers as well.
Cool. So one more question from me before I pass it over. I have it on very good authority that players whose dads have coached them in the past have done very well in their football career. And Alyssa's dad thinks that he's one of the best coaches ever. Zoe's dad thinks he's pretty amazing. What was your dad like as a coach? Would you say he's been instrumental in getting you to where you are today, or
I would say yes, but I think I would say in a different way. I think I've been very lucky. Both my parents have kind of just let me do what I want to do, much to probably their disgust. They probably want to have a bit more input, but I've always just been allowed to do whatever I want. So I think that's been more beneficial than him telling me like football things to do. Although he was a very good coach, he coached my sister and I back when we were very, very young. But I think he knew that it was time to kind of pass it over to other people. And I was actually coached by Alyssa's dad as well, which is funny.
Oh, man, he's going to love that. He's going to love a shout out.
He is. He definitely
All
is.
right, Blake.
Actually, I'm going to butt in there. So it says that you played with the boys quite a bit. Now, I have to play with boys on this podcast, and I find it particularly annoying sometimes. So what's it like what's it like to play, with the boys? And just tell us about that and how that affected your journey.
Yeah, I think it was kind of interesting for me because I really loved it when I was younger. So like obviously that's how I kind of came through football. I came through until about 12 playing with boys, and so that's kind of all I knew. Like I had my best friend at the time in the team as well, which was really cool. So we would just get along like they were our brothers. And it's just how it worked, how the dynamic worked. We'd carpool, we'd hang out. It was just what happened. It was the normal. And so then when I went to playing with all females in a fully female team, it was again, it just I just developed and become accustomed to that as well. And so then going back to boys was a little bit weird, because I was still playing for Cashmere Technical in the WPL side, so I was getting both. So I was training with these little 15-year-old boys who I was probably double their size and weight, and then going to training the next day with the women's team. But I think it was awesome. I think I wanted to do that for myself, and I think that was a big part of it. I knew that if I kind of wanted to develop it and push into different environments, I needed to be playing with boys, because they're just so much faster and more technical, and although their brains might not be fully developed at that age, they do have football brains. They live and breathe football. That's all they seem to talk about, except a couple of video games. They love it, and obviously women do too. But yeah, they're just a little bit wired differently. But it was awesome. I really enjoyed it, and I think I wouldn't be where I am without that.
It takes a long time for boys' brains to develop. We're still working on ours, Blake? We'll get there eventually.
I can attest to that. Blake, what do you got?
So, you had if reports are to be believed, you had a lot of offers in the off season to circle away from the Phoenix. So, what was it about the Phoenix? And we've asked a few other people. Definitely want to get your opinion. What is it about the Phoenix that made you want to stay?
Yeah, I think the Phoenix, obviously it was our first season last year, so you can't like discard that, which I think is so important. And again, none of us that were playing last year probably would have got other professional contracts if it wasn't for Nat and Gemma and the Phoenix and the opportunity that New Zealand football and the club provided. So I think that was very important, and I wasn't just going to go and leave after I learned so much during that 6 months, during such a short amount of time on the field and off the field. And I think the coaches really kind of made me want to stay. They were absolutely awesome, and I think I developed a lot within the season, through the games, through versing harder opposition, even though we didn't come away with some of the results. And so I think that was really important, and that definitely swayed my decision. And then obviously players kind of know things before the public do, which is kind of how football works a little bit. So we were talking amongst each other, and we knew that we would bring a decent side to this season. We knew kind of the players that they wanted to bring in. And so I guess that has a big part in that as well. The likes of Paige and Rolo and Mickey Robertson and everyone, even Lily coming back and the rest of the team. Like, it's just so awesome, and I didn't want to not play with these people again because they've been awesome.
So just sorry to spin on that.
Sorry.
Who else are you? And you've named a few of the players. Who else are you excited about in the squad? Like, I mean, this squad. I mean, I'm picking that we could go top 4 this year. This squad is that good. No pressure. But who else in the team? Like, we've had Claudia come in. We've got the new young lady. Sorry, I forget her name. The goalkeeper. This is a squad brimming with talent. Like, who are you excited to be playing around besides the ones you've named?
I think I could name everyone, to be honest. I think you look at Chico. She's come in. She's done really well. She's brought something out. She looks like a little Mackenzie Barry, which is quite funny. So obviously Mac. Maurice has come in from 20. She did really well at the 20s World Cup. I could name everyone. Grace Wiz. She's on top of life at the moment. Obviously coming the Ferns, which is really, really exciting for her. But yeah, I think I can name everyone. George Candy is a gun at shot stopping. So good. Obviously Bree from 20s again. She's also amazing. Yeah, it's nuts. I can name the whole team if you wanted me to.
So it'll go back to me. So, despite the obvious, what is your goal for the 2023? Other goals.
I think consistency in the A-League is probably the first one, because that goes into 2023. I think it's a really good league that's coming up, and we're seeing some NWSL people getting signed to other clubs, and I think the league is coming together now that it's a bit longer as well, which is really cool. So I think that's probably the first one, and then I would say to continue to make the Ferns. Obviously, I take each opportunity as it comes, and so then with that, hopefully the 2023 World Cup, which would be absolutely insane and a massive dream that would come true, hopefully. And then I'm not too sure. I think I have some on the field goals that I'm working towards through training and IPP sessions with the coaches and things like that. But yeah, those are probably the 3 biggest ones.
Let's divert to the Ferns for a bit, and then I got a woman's question, a viewer question for your bigger pardon. So it was announced yesterday that we are facing that you guys are going to be facing the USA, and you, Grace, and Emma are sort of the poster people around that tour. So how does it feel to be, I guess, the poster person for that tour out of all the people that they could have chosen? They chose you. And may I say you spoke very well too.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I think it was an awesome opportunity just to be able to go there yesterday and be a part of that. It was really cool to see Rolo get to speak with the mayor and the USA ambassador in front of some media people. But yeah, I mean, those games bring a lot of excitement to New Zealand. So just to be a part of that would be awesome. But I wouldn't say I'm the poster person.
Well, you actually were the poster person, which is really cool. I mean, that's an exciting feeling to be put in with, mainstays. How are you feeling about just the possibility of being on the national team during a World Cup at age? How old will you be? Will you be 18, 19?
19.
19. But we're all rooting for you. New Zealand has great depth at your position, so that's why we're all like, oh no, but we really are all the Phoenix athletes. We're hoping that they end up on the Ferns. And, what's your feelings around this kind of stuff right now? Are you scared? Are you going for it? Are you casual?
I think I'd be lying if I didn't say I was going for it, but I guess that's probably what every single person would say. I think it's an awesome environment to be involved in, and I've been lucky to have gone on a few tours now. But by all means, I have a lot to learn, and with the depth of my position, I can learn so easily from these players, regardless of if they're on tour at the time or not. But yeah, it's just awesome to be involved in there. I wouldn't have it any other way. I was very lucky to go from the 20s World Cup to the LA tour, which was a lot of learnings as well, because obviously they're very different environments. But it was very helpful, and I could take learnings from that World Cup into the tours that I've been on since as well.
So you didn't just go from the under-20s World Cup to LA. You went from captain of the New Zealand under-20s to the football firm in LA. Like that's huge. That is so cool. Like captain of the national team. Like that's, hey, it could be a thing. Couple of years time, we could be you wearing the armband for the Ferns. Let's wait and see. No pressure.
We'll see. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Pumping it up, Jonathan. So who are your role models in the women's game right now?
Do you mean in general or in the New Zealand team?
Yeah. In general, anyone.
I think at the moment I would say from the Euros, Leah Williamson, just because I saw how she led her team, and she may not have been the best player on the pitch when you have people such as Lucy Bronze or Georgia Stanway or Leslie Russo in the team, but she stood out and she helped that team, and she was like a strong leader that seemed to bring the team together, and that's what helped them. So I think as a leader and as a player, I would say her. And then I would say the girls in the Ferns, so Claudia and Mouse and Stoddy. Stoddy's been really good to me. On my first tour, obviously she hasn't been back since, but yeah, she was really awesome. And yeah, I think centre backs just seem to be rocking it at the moment. I would say, yeah, I really also like Kanisha Buchanan. I think she's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely got lots of talent, and so she's pretty cool to watch as well.
Yeah, she's an athlete out of Canada.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So when you get on the pitch, do you okay, how about we back up? What's your game day routine like? Do you have any superstitions? Do you eat the same thing, or do you eat just whatever the banquet is in front of you, or?
I think on game day with what I eat, I'm pretty flexible. I probably normally stick to like similar things. It kind of depends on what they provide, or what I have at home, but normally like oats or something like that, maybe some avocado on toast with some eggs, or yeah, I'm pretty flexible with that. But I I like to shower before games just because I then like to do my hair, which is quite funny, but I know lots of people do that. And then I always have to brush my teeth before the game. That's like one thing I do. Yeah, so depends on whatever time of day it is, I get to the field and I do whatever I do. I potter a lot in the changing room as well. I'm always moving. I'm always looking for something to do. And then I brush my teeth and then off I go.
So what are the last things you do before getting on the pitch? Is brush your teeth?
Yeah, pretty much.
So when you're breathing down the neck of the other team, and you got like Jess McDonald right next to you, she's gonna go, fresh breath.
Mentos.
That's fantastic. Whatever
That's
gives you
funny.
confidence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you cheering for right now? Like any people in the world, who are you cheering for? Like 3 people.
Sorry, what did you say?
Any 3 people, who are you cheering for?
That's a hard question as well.
It's kind of deep.
Yeah. Oh, Can I say a club? I would say,
Sure.
and then I'll say two people, but I need to think of the two people. I would say Man City. That's my favorite team. Yeah. Even on the women's side, I like watching them. They're cool to watch, and they're doing pretty good at the moment on the rise, which is what we like to see. And then two people. I would say Stoddy. Does that count? Because I think she's come back from injury. She's doing really well, and I'd like to see her back on the pitch. But she's getting there. She'll be back soon.
Yeah. It's a ankle injury she has now on top of recovering from leukemia. She had ankles.
Yeah, she did. But she's awesome. She's such a legend. And then who else? Nat. I'll say Nat because I love Nat. She's awesome. And everyone's always cheering for her.
Good call. Good call. Nat in her shorts. Good call.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you fit into her approach, do you think? Because she has this crazy, fearless, let's go at 'em, run through a brick wall sort of, and if we mess up, they have you. So, I mean, how do you feel about all that?
I love it. I think it's so beneficial for people. It gives them confidence to go in and do whatever they want to do and whatever they want to try, as well as Nat and Callum and the coaching staff having kind of principles that we can use as tools, which I think is really cool. It's kind of an approach I haven't played under before, which I think is really cool, and it's nice to be able to push people to go and do that and not be scared of that. So that's why I like my role in this team. And then we're all us back four are there to help in any way possible if people need it. But yeah, hopefully that won't happen as much as last season.
Yeah, the freedom to get burned.
Yeah,
it's nice.
As president of the defensive line fan club, I don't mind seeing you four going at the back. So yourself, Mac, Zoe, and you had, was it Saskia last year? I mean, it was so cool. I mean, and then Lily behind you, like it was. What an amazing lineup. And this year we're going to see even more of just these amazing players out there on field with you there too. It's just so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, we do a lot of work together as a team. On the field we've been doing really well. So it'll be really cool to see it all put together very, very soon.
All right, I got a funny question. It's going to be 3v3.
Okay.
3 Knicks players versus 3 national team players that I'll choose.
Okay.
A backline player, a midfielder, and a forward. I want you to choose your 2 other teammates because I assume you want to play. And then I'll choose a team against that.
Okay, so am I from the Phoenix?
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
Phoenix. A Phoenix versus U.S. women's national team, which I was secretly for a scrimmage, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But that was my crazy fantasy.
I would say Betsy because she just runs anywhere and everywhere. She has a motor like no other. She'll keep going and going and going, and she has a good shot on her. She's been banging some in training recently, which is quite cool to see. I feel like it's going to have to be an out-and-out attacker. I need to come up with someone.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah, you go.
So if I'm choosing, I have 2 philosophies around this. I could choose. So Megan Rapinoe said you can't win without the gays, like it's mathematically impossible. So I had this all gay team. Rapinoe, Christy Mewis, and Tierna Davidson. But Tierna Davidson right now is injured. She's coming back. Christy Mewis is on the bubble. Megan Rapinoe's a little bit on the bubble. So I'm going with Becky Sauerbrunn because she's an institution. She's very good at positioning, not very good at speed, but that's okay. She makes up for it with her impeccable positioning. Then I'm going with Rose Lavelle because she just has these moves. Big fan? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Cool. And then I have to go based on inform. Oh. Do you know Sophia Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, either her or Alex Morgan. I'm going to go with Sophia Smith because, she's kind of a youngster, and she'll hustle a lot. So those are my three. So you're going up against my three. I think I'm going with Smith, Lavelle, and Brune.
Okay,
right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think I'll add Ava to mine. One, because she's my best friend, but because she's a hard worker and she'll never stop as well. And I think we'll need that against those three players.
Yeah. That'll be tough. I'm hyping up the U.S. Ferns match. Underneath, I got a.
Just doing a little bit of fishing and a little bit of exploratory. Feel free not to answer this, but we're just going to try and go. How long until Millie Clegg gets signed by the Knicks?
Don't know.
Because Millie is on a hot streak right now. She is amazing. It's so cool to see her in the Knicks squad.
Yeah, she's doing really, really good. She is rapid fast. And I think you probably saw that more at the 17s World Cup than you would have at the 20s. But yeah, she did awesome for that team. Yeah, it was really cool to see.
So we will wait and see for that. So as we wind down here.
I got funny ones.
Sorry.
Yeah, real quick. Who's the funniest on the Knicks?
I always laugh at, or with, I should say, not at, Lanks. She's quite funny, but Betsy is also very funny. She's just a very, just like, doesn't really, she just goes through life and doesn't really care, which I actually really like. But yeah, probably one of those two.
How about who's the best dancer?
I probably shouldn't say this, but Brie grew up dancing.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, her mum's a dance teacher, and so she has some good rhythm. But Mickey Foster, we were doing some line dancing yesterday. Mickey Foster is doing pretty good too.
You're doing line dancing?
Yeah, we're dancing the foot.
This is the good stuff. This is what we're after. This is the real meat of investigative journalism. This is what we want to know. What's really happening at the Knicks?
Country line dancing? What do you mean by line dancing?
Yeah. Country line dancing.
That's awesome. That beautiful sports facility, all the things. Seats everywhere. We're just rocking country line dancing.
It was very good activation pre-training.
Yeah, that's cute. I love that. All right. All right. This is critical. If you're on a desert island or lost on the desert road, who do you want by your side?
You have to be careful with this because there's definitely some people I would not be bringing.
You
wouldn't take your dad because you'd be stuck with dad jokes all day, like that. Just dad, shut up,
I wouldn't actually mind my dad. Maybe can I add my dad? I'll add my dad. I think, yeah. My sister, I think I would bring my sister as well. That'd be funny. And then I'd need someone to kick a ball with, and neither of those two can do that. So I should probably bring someone else. They can, but I might get a little bit frustrated at them. So I think I would bring.
Get out of that situation.
That's a hard one.
You got to kick the ball around. You need someone to like know how to do an SOS signal, or at least put an egg out on the
Dad
road.
is very good. He's
Okay.
a very handy man. My sister would just make me laugh, and then I would probably bring Ava. We get on really, really well, so I'd probably bring Ava.
Sounds good. All right, Blake.
So as we go to wind down here, I have a secret viewer question for you. So somebody wants to know, and they want to remain anonymous, who is your alter ego?
Oh no! I really want to know who's asked this. So her name is Olga, and she's not. Some people, Lily loves her, but she can be very rude and not the nicest to be around. But yeah, she's an interesting one. She doesn't come out too often, and I've been told by a couple people she needs to not come out in certain environments. But yeah, I think she makes me me as well.
Olga.
We won't
Yeah.
we won't divulge who asked the question. We'll let you do that in the background in your own time. But there was one that was specifically asked. They wanted to, get the lowdown.
So can I
no.
get your number and it says Olga on the back? I mean, get a kid. Can we hold up signs? Go, Olga!
Oh, she doesn't actually come out too often on the football field.
Okay.
I would say, sometimes actually, sometimes.
So Olga's kind of grumpy and
Yeah, just doesn't really care what she says, and yeah, just has very short temper.
so Olga every once in a while just makes an appearance. It's like and just like bolts or sits around and reads a magazine after, but just doesn't care. Okay, awesome. I love that alter ego. I wish I had my inner Olga more often. I think I'd be happier.
Sometimes she's quite silent too, which it speaks in itself.
On that
All right.
note,
Well, as one quick one, because it'll be fun, and we'll. Does Olga have a favorite snack, and does Kate have a favorite snack?
I don't know if Olga does, but I like anything. Absolutely anything. Not fussy at all.
That's good. All right, Olga will take a piece of cake and throw it at the wall. Yeah. Thanks for sharing about Olga.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I kind of like it. All right, Blake, bring it home.
So, we would like to say thank you, Kate, for coming on the show today. And you can see this video on YouTube at youtube.com/the BFG podcast. If you're coming from Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and you can turn on that notification bell to make sure you get all the latest uploads. And we will see you on the next one.